Hello, everyone. Johnny checking in really quick before we begin. Masks in Yokohama Forever Ends Tonight. Forever Ends Tonight was supposed to be the conclusion of a trilogy that had begun with Nemesis Sensei. And then something grew in my brain, and I then wrote Pivot and the Wolf to tell the backstory and to be the definitive version of the characters' histories before they became the people that we had met in Nemesis Sensei. And so things have gone in a different direction than I originally planned back in 2018. And I'm happier with the way they are now. And so it's good to go back to Yokohama circa 2030 and visit the masks. And so just to make sure everyone is all fully legal adults, of course, and they've had their relationships grow and evolve, and we're at a sort of place where things can go to a nice, safe conclusion, except, of course, for the fact that they still have those troubles with the Tairogumi, Yakuza. And, well, that loose end demands being tied. So without further ado, let's get into Forever Ends Tonight. The clouds had massed like a hate mob, thunder rolling so loudly as to make talking almost impossible. Thor and Indra must be bowling against Fushin and Raijin, Wolfgal had thought. They had communicated with hand signals, even in her dream. In the bed, her fingers clenched, remembering the feel of her steel claws in the charged air that night, 6 years before. No, Emmy told Wolfgal as she watched. No, don't do this. You don't need to destroy this life. You can be safe, happy, and loved. Don't try to be someone you're not. But 16-year-old Wolfgal did not hear her. She followed the same steps as every time. Please, Wolfgal, you love them. Don't hurt them, Emmy pleaded. The door blasted, and she watched helplessly as Wolfgal stabbed the men she loved and stepped over her fallen lovers without a glance back, just to prove she was a cold-blooded killer. Damn you, Emmy wept. Damn you! It's not just them you hurt. You bitch! You bitch! Emmy watched Wolfgal carry the stolen microchips away and felt the rain that washed Pivot's blood into Craftsman's wounds as they laid semi-conscious and shivering. Emmy crawled to be with them on the slick grass, but her body gave them no warmth. She woke, biting her hand. Her war teeth hadn't sprouted, so that was something. And she looked at the indentations in her skin. Chiharu was asleep on the futon beside her, on the floor. Her battle sister snored softly, naked in the dark like Emmy herself. Where were her men? She needed to be reassured that she was forgiven and loved. She crawled off the mattress and padded out of the bedroom, quiet as a stalking wolf. She looked down at the uneven patch of tanned skin on her freckled breast. Megumi's flesh and blood was in her heart. If that wasn't love. Emmy then looked at her thighs, her too thick thighs, also with some freckles, but nowhere near as many as those on her arms. Her face had several too. Most Japanese didn't have them. It was a gift from her Brazilian avó. Hiroi adored them, so Emmy did too. She wanted so many more, thinking that Hiroi would love her even more if she did. She walked to her backyard, which was another rarity, and Emmy lay on the grass and stared up at the quarter moon. Moon Princess, please tell my family I love them and give them sweet dreams. If it's not too much, I think I'm ready to stop hating myself, if you can help, Emmy whispered, and then she howled, singing to the Moon Princess. Chiharu awoke to the eerie howling. She looked around in alarm, saw Emmy was missing, and relaxed. Emmy was just howling at the moon. It was 2 a.m., the witching hour. Chiharu hadn't spoken to her father for a week. Now they were at war, and she'd never speak to him as a daughter again. He had kidnapped her fiancé. Masked villain or no, that was unforgivable. Chiharu didn't want to be alone. She walked, following the howls, to the back lawn of Emmy's small house. And she sang Emmy's current favorite love song. It was sung by an American rock band called the Misfits. Descending angel, stand by my side. We'll face the night. Emmy looked sharply at her from her position, naked and supine on the grass. Forever ends tonight. Emmy sang, finishing the chorus. Little rebel angel, little rebel angel. They sang together, finishing the song. It's a love song, you know, Emmy said. I don't think so, she replied. That's just because you're normal. You don't get the imagery. When Michael asks the descending angel to guard the gates of hell just one more night, he's standing there with her so they can die together, Emmy explained. It's beautiful. The blood pours as rain, and soon you'll be alone. She nodded, though she didn't see the beauty in that line. Chi, Emmy asked suddenly, are we sisters forever? Think I'll let any old skank trash fuck my husband on my wedding night? Emmy nodded eagerly. Skank trash and furry gray wolf panties. Who's my skank trash? Chiharu asked playfully, as if she was teasing a pet. Are you my skank trash? Are you? Emmy howled and ran at her on all fours. I am your skank trash, she called out, and then stood. Now let us never say that word again, Emmy said severely, and hugged Chiharu. Aw, but I like calling you my skank trash. It's punk rocky, Chiharu protested. Very well, only around family, though, Emmy said, allowing for her perversity. Can I call our men fuck dicks, too? No, that word is banned, like funicular. But, Emmy, funiculars are things that exist. Not in my world, they don't. Just like every song by Blondie that isn't Call Me. They are banned. She tickled her and sang, I know a girl, cold as ice cream, but still as sweet. Emmy laughed, pushing her hands away. Banned, I said. Shame on you. Chiharu pouted. I like Heart of Glass. Not around me, you don't. Although if you dress up as Debbie Harry for Halloween this year, I will allow you to sing it at our party. If you also agree to sing So Bad Boy by Hisakawa Aya, Emmy insisted, but bargaining in that way that she had. I'll do it, Chiharu said, and then asked, Who will you be? I'm going as Pendulum, Emmy replied, walking back inside through the sliding door. You can't. I'm Pendulum, Chiharu said, following her. Ah, but on Halloween, you will be the lead singer of Blondie. Therefore, I will be Pendulum, Emmy declared, and then she fetched a bell pepper and began cutting it into slices. That has to be against some rule, Chiharu said. No rules on Halloween, Boob Fairy. What if Megumi wants to go as Wolf Gal? Oh, that'd be so hot. Pendulum might just go lesbian for a night. No! Pendulum isn't even bisexual. When I'm dressed as her, she is. Emmy-chan, please don't do that. Good wolves don't hurt their packmates' images. Emmy pulled her dill dip out of the fridge. All right, Chi-chan. I'll just go as Dump Matsumoto. But Dump... who's Dump Matsumoto? Pro wrestler. She was big and fat and had a mohawk. Sexy Dump. I like it. No, I plan to gain 60 pounds. But then Emmy burst out laughing. Did I fool you? Even a little? Emmy asked. A little, Chiharu agreed, and snatched a slice of pepper and dipped it into the tub of sauce directly. Oh, so this will be the end of this tub of dip, eh? Emmy asked archly. And she sliced up her final remaining bell pepper and began to sing Heart of Glass. Then she cursed. Damn you and damn David Bowie, she yelled. And close the damn door. But, Emmy, David Bowie didn't, she said, closing the door. I know what I said. He knows what he did, Emmy insisted, loudly snarfing a slice of pepper. What did he do? He's been dead for years. Ziggy Stardust and the spiders from Mars. I thought there were Martian spiders on Earth, crossbreeding with those crabs that look like samurai faces to become super Martian spider crabs. I was traumatized, Emmy explained. You poor thing. How old were you? I had a similar experience with that song Maneater by Hall and Oates. I was 20, Emmy said. Oh, you were off your meds, she said, nodding. My dad was born in 1983, so he made me listen to all the music he liked as a kid. Hall and Oates, Kagayama Hironobu, Tim Capello, Mr. Mister. Emmy laughed. Mr. Mister! Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Then Emmy went blank. Tim Capello? Think of him as proto-epic sax guy. Emmy did some math. It's 2030, so you were born in 2010? She nodded. Your dad doesn't look old enough to have been born in 83. Mask and a hat to cover his balding. They ate in silence for a while. That Mr. Mister song made no sense. When we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in? It doesn't even rhyme, Emmy said. Chiharu laughed. You're still on Mr. Mister? And Mr. Fister, but that's another story, Emmy replied. Chi choked. When she was breathing again, she drank some water. Mr. Fister? Do I want to know? She asked. Well, he's not a mask, so don't worry about that, Emmy said. You probably don't want to know, though. She grew thoughtful, munching. I mean, let us in? Let us in what? The book? Emmy asked. I bet he just thought it sounded cool, Chi said. Can we talk about anything else? Sure, want to talk about masks? Chiharu found this to be an agreeable topic, as she dipped a slice before eating some more. There was a pervert named Mr. Insomnia, Emmy began. Wolfgal arched him in Sado. She was impressed. You lived on Sado Island? Yeah, during my, penance journey, we'll call it. Wolfgal was a heroine in Sado. You turned to the light side? I was paying for my sin. Besides, Mr. Insomnia needed a beating. What did he do? You know what I did, and I'm sorry. No, what did he do, Mr. Insomnia? Oh, Emmy said, wiping her eyes, then wincing. Dill juice and vinegar. She dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. Emmy nodded her thanks. Mr. Insomnia could make people unable to sleep. It sounds obvious now. Right, so Wolfgal killed him and fed him to the crabs. Oh, Chiharu replied. Wolfgal wasn't good at the whole do-gooder thing, Emmy explained. He was holding the city's mayor's family hostage with no sleep. He had a baby. You know what babies do when they can't sleep? They cry. You know what mamas who can't sleep do to their crying babies that can't sleep? Chiharu frowned. You bet your absent ass Wolfgal killed that bastard. What did the mayor's wife do? She cried, but she told Wolfgal she had begun to think of killing her child. How horrible. Yeah, most mothers get infanticidal at some point. Nobody talks about it because it's horrible. You said Mr. Insomnia was a pervert? Oh, he offered to let them have a night's sleep if he could have sex with Wolfgal. Wolfgal said no? No. Wolfgal said, die, asshole! But you were right in that she refused. I mean, why didn't she have sex with him? First of all, Wolfgal isn't a whore. Second, that would not have been the end. So, he died, they got to sleep, and that baby grew into a little boy who has a piece of my skirt for a good luck charm. I mean, Wolfgal's skirt, Emmy said. Did you collect his eyes? Emmy laughed. No, I have no collection, actually. It's just something I say to scare my prey. Chiharu smiled, relieved. Did the mayor reward Wolfgal? She asked. No, he couldn't officially endorse vigilantism, but he did give me a nice painting that his wife made of Wolfgal. I just wish it had been a nude, Emmy said wistfully. So, for your wedding present, you want a nude portrait? She asked. Emmy smiled. A group nude portrait. All three of us, she declared. Then we can be works of art. Chiharu didn't like that and said so. My boobs aren't for some painter and anybody else you chose to show that painting to, which will be anybody and everybody. My boobs are for our family. But they're a gift, Emmy said. Also, it will be Pendulum's boobs, and Wolfgal's boobs, and Oni Girl's boobs, and the rest of our sexy bodies, of course. Chiharu thought about it. With the mask on, it's different, Chiharu mused. Right. Nobody knows that Pendulum is Nishidake Chiharu, Emmy said, smiling hopefully. It would be all three of us, too. As soon as we get Megu Megu to agree. Okay, I'm in. As a gift to you. Emmy howled for joy and clapped. And then Chiharu yawned. Emmy yawned, too. Here's what I see. 3 chaise lounges, white or cream-colored in a T formation. You on the left, me on the right, Megumi center. We lay on our sides, lounging all sexy arty, and Megumi's on her back, lounging and beckoning. She saw it in her mind's eye. That is simultaneously beautiful and sexy, she said. Call it Night Warriors in Repose, Emmy said, gesturing as if to show a banner. We'll sell prints of it at Yokai Girl Studio. She stepped back. No, not there. No selling, she protested. But Yokai Girl is Pivot's mom. Our mother. In-law. And it's art, baby. Art history, even. Legitimate, artistic, masked nudes. Celebrate the super female form. There's just that one ukiyo-e print of that masked geisha named Clever Plum or something, and she might have just been a cape. Nobody knows if she was a gifted. Chiharu digested that and yawned. All right, you talked me into it. If we get Megu. Emmy picked up her phone happily. After she gets a decent night's sleep, she yelled, pointing. I'm going back to bed. You are too. And so they went back to sleep, Emmy clutching Chiharu's arm spasmodically as she dreamed. Her dream was still a comic book scene of Shinichi seeing the triple nude portrait and having a simultaneous nosebleed of comical intensity and an impossible erection. She applauded in the dream. For posterity, she declared to him, our sexiness immortalized before time and pregnancy ravage our bodies. She all but glowed her love for her future co-wives. And yes, herself. Emmy smiled in her sleep. It was good to not oppress herself. Chiharu dreamed that she was walking through a forest. She heard birds singing and found a beautiful pond with water lilies growing in it. A small frog rested atop one. And then Pivot came from behind a tree as if waiting for her. His dark purple uniform made him appear partially hidden in the dappled sunlight. He beckoned her silently. Pivot, what is it? Something you want to show me? Chiharu asked, and she saw that she was wearing a bridal gown. Pivot beckoned again, and she thought that he smiled behind his mask. She walked toward him. Now that both of us are blooded, we can be wed, my love, Pivot said, taking her hand. He led her to a horned demon wearing the robes of a Shinto priest. Marry me, Pendulum. Be my wife and have my children. We will raise them to be strong and take what they want from the world. We are both powerful. Our children will be as gods, Pivot said, with hellfires raging behind his goggles. She was Pendulum now, and she screamed, No, not that kind of power. Power to protect the helpless, to speak for the silent. Power for peace and freedom. The demon priest stepped back, appalled at her words. Pivot hissed at her. Pendulum, listen, he said, bowing apologetically to the priest. We can change the world. We need to. It's in danger of falling into chaos and darkness. The powerful, we, the powerful, must change things to prevent it. Be mine forever, Pendulum. Help me save humanity from self-destruction. Don't you love me? Pivot, this isn't like you, Pendulum said. trying to pull away, but his grip was unyielding. Wolfgal crawled into the clearing, her teeth and hands covered in dried gore. Come on, Pendulum. You'll get to be my wife, too, Wolfgal said, her tongue lolling as she sat on her haunches. No, I don't want to rule the world. I want to live in peace, in a house, and be happy, Pendulum said, and then she changed into a stone ball and began gravitating to a tree. Pivot snatched for her, but missed. Wolfgal pounced, wrapping her arms around her. Marry me, Pendulum. Together we'll kill anyone who crosses us, Wolfgal said, her breath reeking of rotting meat. Chiharu woke with a start. Her left arm was clutched to Emi's bosom as her sister still slept. She slowly and gently pulled free, and then looked at a clock. It was 5 a.m. She gave up and showered. She tried to banish the nightmare. Hiroi had no interest in world domination. He hated things like that. She knew it. Emi didn't seem to mind killing at all, though. That seemed true to life. Hmm. Could she accept that about her future co-wife? She had watched her kill her father's legions, men without the slightest waver to her eyes. Chiharu herself had severely hurt, if not killed, a few Yakuza, but she regretted the necessity, didn't she? The petite woman dried her short black hair, and her eyes were drawn as always to the mirror. Wolfgal, Pivot, and Craftsman were villains, criminals. Could Pendulum and Onigel marry into their family with their honor intact? They were allied with the Golden Aunt, the Dragon of Yokohama, big boss of the dominant Yakuza clan. Gambling, prostitution, counterfeit luxury goods, extortion, probably porn, construction scams. Could she allow that to go on in her city? Perpetrated by a so-called friend who forced her men to have fake, loveless sex with her? She decided she could not. She finished drying her body. After forcing the Tairogumi to leave Yokohama, Pendulum would deliver an ultimatum to the Golden Aunt. Go legitimate business or retire the hard way. A good woman knows when to compromise, and when compromise cannot be achieved. Chiharu's conscience was appeased, and she dressed for work. Emi's house was closer to her job, and was a lot more comfortable, so Chiharu stayed there most nights. She'd submitted a portfolio to a few animation studios to see if she could be a voice actress. Sure, she was an accountant, but everyone's got dreams. Momojisa was at the municipal garden. She'd paid for a year's membership and 3 plots. She watered her seedlings and felt for them with her power. You, little watermelon, are hungry for plutonium, she thought. You, tomato, are hungry for carbon. She hoped her gift worked in the way Shinichi had envisioned. She could, with help, save the world. She moved down. You, soybeans, you grow very big and rich in vitamins. Here's some fertilizer. Grow big and healthy for Mama. The middle-aged woman across the way smiled and waved at her. Momo also waved and smiled. Excuse me, miss, the stranger asked. Could I use some of your fertilizer? Momojisa nodded and handed the jug over. We were all together, Momo said. The woman thanked her and poured some over her own plot. When she returned the chemical fertilizer, she said, You are kind, young lady. When my eggplants are ready, would you like one? Momo thanked her and agreed. That done, Momo left the garden and went to the Nautical Museum to talk to Marina, Yokohama's ambassador. Marina was watching the news from her tank when Momo arrived. Momo waited on a chair for Marina to address her, unsure of what the etiquette was. During commercials, Marina looked at her and smiled. Orange hair, very attractive, Marina said. Thank you, ma'am, Momo replied to Marina, and then she introduced herself. I have a friend with a gift over plants, Momo began, and then detailed the plan that she and Shin had developed. It would clean things up and give our people value in the eyes of the governments and the money men, Marina mused. I like your plan, if it will work. I will send word to my leaders. I'm due for my shore duty to end soon, so if I am replaced, I will inform her as well, Marina added. Are all of the Mer ambassadors female? Momo asked. Marina nodded. Humans like our women more than our men. All of you do. It was prudent. I'm what you call a spinster. I'll never have offspring, so it was a good choice for me to take the job. Momo smiled. I like you, Marina. I hope you come back. And then she blurted, I mean, if you don't mind it here. I like Japan, Marina said. I'm glad your people stopped hunting whales and dolphins, but I'm sad it took them so long to decide that. Momo nodded. Can the Mer communicate with them? She asked. Yes, in the way that you can communicate with dogs, but we don't know their thoughts and they can't tell us. Not really, like you and we do, Marina replied. Maybe one of your masks will be able to communicate with them, and then we can have a new age of understanding. Momo smiled at this. I hope so. She left to resume her studies. Botany was harder than she'd thought. Luckily, her gift seemed to be tied to her imagination more than her understanding and knowledge. She really hoped that it would work. She'd never be without a job, and she'd really use her powers for the good of everyone. Moon goddess warriors fight for everlasting peace. And she received a text from Jiro. Hi, Momo. Want to go out today? She replied, No thanks, Jiro. I'm very involved in the new project. Also, you should try to get a girlfriend. It won't work between us. Seijiro knew it was coming, but it still hurt. Okay, Momo, he replied. And then he texted Emmy, and he said to her, Momo rejected me. What can I do? Get someone else. Want me to go to some dance club with you to make you look better? Emmy replied. Does that work? He asked. A woman who's as hot as me will make the girls wonder what you have going for you. Worst case scenario, we have fun at the club and I give you a good night kiss. Well, okay, Jiro agreed. Jiro left a stack of money in his mom's purse and went out for some club clothes. Emmy giggled. Helping the less fortunate made her feel good. Maybe Chi would go along with her little scheme. So she texted Chiharu. I know you're at work, but tonight, want to go to a dance club to be my pal Seijiro's entourage so he can pick up girls? Chiharu didn't read the text until lunchtime. Seijiro? Did she mean bullet train? How could she and Emmy help him pick up girls? So she texted Emmy to ask. Easy. We are super pretty. We dance with him. The girls see it, and they see how we smile and have a good time. And then we both go to the ladies' room and hang out for about 10 minutes. When we come back, he'll be with some pretty girl and apologize to us, and we all go home happy. Emmy responded, That works? She sent. Yeah, if he's with hotties like us and we genuinely like him, he must be doing something right, so he becomes more attractive. Chiharu understood. She wondered where Emmy had learned this, but she did not ask. She finished her canteen lunch and then went to the bathroom before returning to work. Yes, she washed her hands too. Do I need to tell you everything? Seijiro picked out a lavender short sleeved button down shirt and some gunmetal black cargo shorts. Then he shook his head and he asked a clerk for some help with the club clothes. He left with a tank top that featured an ukiyo-e style print of a woman putting on her makeup in a mirror, a Panama hat, a floral print aloha shirt, and cargo shorts, plus a new pair of sneakers. The clerk gave him the OK sign and winked. The girls will like this, I promise, he said. Jiro left with his purchases, smiling. He did his shift at the kombini, nodded to Shinichi, who nodded without recognition, as he bought his cigarettes and a lot of beef jerky. My girlfriend loves the stuff, Shinichi said. I know Megumi, Jiro replied. Shin did a double take. I didn't say her name, he said warily. Nagazawa-san, I'm part of Megumi's squad. Remember me now? Jiro said. Oh, right. Jiro. Good to see you, Shin said, embarrassed. He waved awkwardly and left. Jiro smiled. He had been working part-time here for years to help out his mom, who owned the store. They say geniuses sometimes are far away from the world in front of them. Shin was going to marry his friend. It was cool to be connected. Jiro just wanted a woman of his own. Just one. He wasn't greedy like Matsui and Nagazawa. Megumi received a text from Emmy. Hey, for my wedding gift, I have a favor to ask, the text read. All right, Megumi replied. I want a painting of Oni Girl, Wolf Gal, and Pendulum nude. What? Megumi shouted. And then she texted, You're serious? Yes, I want art celebrating our beautiful bodies. But my body isn't beautiful. Yes, it is, Megu Megu. And with the masks on, we will make cultural history. Like just standing there next to a vase or something? No. Better, Emmy texted. We will be lounging all sexy and feminine on those lounge chairs with some flowers and mysterious smiles. Megumi imagined it and then did it again without her body hatred interfering. Feminine, mysterious, with her battle sisters as Oni Girl, as a gift for Emmy. You're lucky I love you. I'll do it. Emmy could not contain her joy. She howled. You will see the beautiful woman that we see, Megu. That painting will be perfect. I'll start looking for portrait artists, Emmy texted. You have your wisdom clouded by love. I'm mannish and not pretty at all, Megumi protested in response. Her mom leaned into her room. Is everything okay, Megu-chan? She asked. Mom, am I pretty? Megumi asked. I think so, her mom replied. I don't think being strong makes you stop being beautiful. Beautiful enough to be painting? She came forward to hug her daughter. Every bride is beautiful. It's one of the few pieces of magic left in the world, she said, and Megumi hugged her, sitting at her desk. I'm really going to get married, Megumi said. Yes, you are. Chiharu received Emi's text expressing her exultant joy. We're going to be art history, she added. Thank you, you sweet, beautiful boob fairy. Chiharu examined her bosom, covered by a modest blouse, and then her small hand. 5 feet tall, slender. I'm somebody's ideal woman physically. I'm cute, I guess, in a girl next door way. If I insist Megumi is beautiful, Emi's allowed to insist that I am. I'm going to get married. I don't know when, but I'll be a real bride with a real husband. I'll share him, but in the law, Hiroi will be mine alone. She texted Emi, Am I promoted to Megumi? Yes, Emi responded. Full equal claim to all that is mine, member of my pack, since you killed Gongdora. I only helped, Chiharu replied. 40-pound rock colliding with the back of the head tends to be fatal, Emi countered. Well, fuck off, skank trash. I have work to do, she added a smiley. I never should have introduced you to punk rock. All your fault, you 80s obsessed weirdo. She did get back to work then. Hey, do you miss Entropos? No? Okay, fine. I won't tell you what he was doing that day. Ah, but Hiroi now. He called Sadako for that date. He asked to meet her at a fancy Chinese restaurant that was called Erme, wearing her red Versace dress and a flower in her hair. How did Hiroi know about this dress? That is another story. Sadako confirmed the date for 6 p.m. And then he hated himself. He made the date to get it over with, prove that he wasn't all talk. And why did he care what a tattooed Yakuza prostitute thought of him? Even she was a person with a heart. So he would prove that her missing breast didn't repel him, mastectomy or no, she was not an unattractive woman. Her remaining breast was healthy, and so was she. Hiroi set out a black suit and a clip-on bow tie for the evening. He saved his work and logged off his laptop. He sent a group text to his family. I'm going out to dinner with Sadako tonight. The one boob whore? No sex, Megumi replied. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. No, it's cheating, Chiharu replied. What if she pressures him? Shin texted. He can say no, he's a grown man, Megumi replied. You want to, though, so you can say that you had sex with a cancer survivor. A woman with one breast. You want her as a trophy, Emi texted. Is that wrong? Hiroi responded. She is a whore, and she did all but make me do the date in the first place. You do it, and I will be very mad at you, Chiharu replied. Sex with Akane I can forgive, but not that Sadako. Not a whore. I'm with Chi. Do not fuck Sadako or there will be a reckoning, Megumi sent. I'm the only one who isn't bothered? Call it my deviancy, I guess. Shin? Emi sent. I think he has a more noble goal that he is embarrassed to admit. Hiroi wants Sadako to feel beautiful again to help her be more happy, Shin texted. Yes, but is he allowed to fuck her? Emi retorted. I say yes. It's a split. I won't plan on it. If it happens, I'll apologize, Hiroi said. If you don't mean the apology, don't bother, Megumi said. I am so mad right now. You're our fiance. A Yakuza prostitute. How could Hiroi explain why he felt obligated to do this? Yes, he did want to have sex with Sadako, but not for just one reason. A perverse urge was there to have sex with the Yakuza prostitute. It was like sleeping with the enemy. It wasn't because she was an ally, but it was close. His disdain for Yakuza ran deep, but Sadako deserved to be treated like a person. But she had called him out. But she was pretty, even with missing teeth. But she was Yakuza. But she was a cancer survivor. It was a reward for her strength and courage. But Megumi and Shiharu felt betrayed. He didn't want to hurt them, but he wanted to do this. He had to face the consequences. He would, and hoped they would forgive him. It was just as he had described the scene to her months ago. Hiroi saw Sadako seated and waiting him, wearing the red dress with a white carnation in her dyed red hair over her left ear. Their eyes met. Sadako was 30 years old, but he didn't care. He moved to sit with her and kissed her like she was his real date. He could see her tattoo, and a lot of people were getting uncomfortable to see the obvious Yakuza tattoo at a nice restaurant. Sadako refused to be ashamed of who she was. Matsui, you look handsome, she said. You look beautiful, Hiroi replied. It's romantic, being with you. Really? I mean it. Romantic. Sadako smiled. So, you want to pretend this is a real date? She asked. Can we? I'd like it, he replied. Sure, Hiroi, my boyfriend. She said the word in a playful way and smiled with genuine pleasure. The dress could not hide her scar, and she made no attempt to hide it. Beyond the tattoo, which disguised it fairly well, that is. And they ate, chatting about the movie that she liked. She had seen Mermaid Mountain too. I was there with a client who asked me to blow him during the scary parts, Sadako explained. Weird, Hiroi replied, sipping his plum wine. Is it? My weirdometer broke a long time ago, she replied and laughed softly. She leaned forward, revealing the curve of her breast. I have a mask in my purse, Hiro-chan. I know you like that stuff, she said. He felt the thrill. It has blue feathers on it and gold dust, coated in sealant so none will get on you, she whispered. What do you say? Want to see me wearing nothing but my mask and my lacy black thong? Hiroi asked for the check and paid. In Hiroi's car now, Sadako squeezed his thigh. I promise you can afford me. This night, Hiro-kun, she purred. My women are going to be so mad at me, Hiroi said. Jealous of me? Oh, I'll talk about that compliment for days. Maybe not. They say it's cheating. Sadako giggled. Whores don't count. It's a transaction, a purchase. Oh, but she said, drawing her long red nails up his thigh. What if you fall in love? What if you join us and want me or Akane all the time? Oh, what would your women say? Won't ever happen. I love my women forever, Hiroi protested. Forever is a long time, baby, Sadako said seriously. He parked at a love hotel. They found themselves in a room designed with mask fantasies in mind. City skyline painted on the walls, beds spread with roads and manhole covers printed on them, and posters of masks from manga. Well, how lucky is this? Sadako said. Close your eyes, Hirokun. She locked the door and pulled off her dress. She donned her mask and smoothed the fake feathers. She was now wearing only her panties and mask. You found my secret hideout, she gasped. He opened his eyes. It's you, Blue Swallow, Hiroi said, making up a name. She giggled. Yes, Blue Swallow. I'll demonstrate my power. She gently stripped his clothing and pushed him atop the bed. Want me to show you my swallow gift? She asked, and made a chirping noise that sounded nothing like a swallow. She demonstrated her swallow gift, not by acting like a bird, but by a different means. Remember what I said about kisses from strong men? She said, proffering her breast. He kissed her breast. Yes, it likes you. You're very strong. Fade out. Afterward, she asked for 2,000 yen as they cuddled. Worth it, Hiroi said. I bet I can find some perverts who will pay even more, huh? I'm unique. Yes, that's true. Thanks for treating me like a lady, Hirokun, she said and gave him a kiss. I can't buy you any more, especially after I get married, he informed her. I know, darling. It will be a sweet memory, the one night you were mine. They dressed shortly, and Hiroi drove her to her apartment and placed the money in her hand. She frowned. Why don't I feel happy with the money? She asked. Hiroi shrugged. I had a nice time, Sadako. He bid her good night. Sadako put the money away and walked to her apartment. It belonged to the Benten Gumi. Strictly speaking, so did her Versace. So did her furniture. Sadako had felt something different. It wasn't fake or mechanical client sex. That was boyfriend sex. That's why she felt unhappy. She genuinely liked Hiroi, and he had made love to her rather than fuck her. He had treated her like a woman, not like a whore. She spent a lot of time thinking about her life that night. Akane Musashido was wearing a yukata at the meeting, but also wearing her golden aunt mask. She didn't insist that her unders address her as golden aunt, though she was masked. Nishidake hasn't been paying his taxes or fees for the pink peach. We can buy it from the council right out from under him, said her legitimate business lieutenant, Sunny. Give a subtle hint to the council that we will gladly assume the debt and pay in full in a timely fashion, Sunny. Use guerrilla entertainment, Akane said. Yes, Auntie. Will we keep it as a cabaret or make it a strip joint? Asked Megane, her tech lieutenant. I like strippers, Megane. They help our prostitutes get work. She then asked, anyone find out how many doubles or clones, or whatever Legion has active in the city. Tanuki Joe, the only other mask in the room, said, Auntie, we've pinpointed 3 with our snoops. We don't know many he can fission or how alert or strong they are. His powers are a well kept secret. What about his mask Jonin, Zero? Zero has proven easier. His power is fueled by fluorescent light. He can only maintain the suppression of 6 masks for 4 minutes. Then it taxes him and he quickly gets exhausted, Tanuki Joe replied. Can we turn him or buy him? He's married to a 14-year-old Balinese girl given to him by Nishidake. I don't think we can buy him, not for any price we're willing to pay at any rate. Akane considered this, then nodded. Zero must meet with an accident, then. Perhaps he will get drunk and take a swim, she suggested. Most unfortunate, but these things do happen, Auntie, Joe replied, and then he bowed. The rest of the meeting was about more routine matters. Ruko took occasional notes. Goldenot had decided that Legion must die too. Kidnapping her special friends could not be tolerated. People might think they could get away with it. Send Toshi up to my front bedroom. Tell him to wear the gym uniform. I feel like time traveling, Akane whispered to Ruko. Akane bowed to her Jonin. I leave the rest in your capable hands, she said, and thanked them for their hard work. She stopped in her secret room, that everyone knew about, to change into a gym uniform of her own. She had hated wearing the bloomers in school, but now they let her go back to being young and more carefree. She smiled at her reflection and took a pose. Not bad, Akane. Not bad. She saw her reflection grinning back at her and flashing the V for victory. She felt energetic and sexy. Toshi was waiting for her in those short jogging trunks. Fade out. As she sat at the foot of her bed, preparing to go, Akane asked him, Toshi, do you know who your father is? No, Auntie, Toshi replied. I do. I knew him very well, she replied. Who is he? Musashido Tetsuro. Toshi looked at her, half smiling. A joke? He asked. She shook her head. No, Toshi, the truth. I'm really your aunt. How does that make you feel? She sat up, watching his response eagerly. You knew? And still you made me? You're sick! Toshi exploded, standing and pointing at her. She smiled. Yes, I did. I made you my man whore. Do you love me? Can Auntie have a kiss, Tochan? He gave her the finger and pulled his uniform back on. I quit. I'm going to go work for the Transit Authority, he said bitterly. Don't leave, Toshi, Akane said sweetly, wheedling. I like you. I just wanted to teach you a lesson. Anyone can betray you. Learn it. And I hope to see you at work tomorrow. You mean your sanctuary with my knee pads on? Don't count on it, he scoffed. I want you to come back, though, she said. Her 20-year-old nephew left. Damn it, Toshi. I just want to teach you, she muttered. Why then did she hate herself? As Hiroi parked his car, he knew he'd jeopardized his happy future. Why did he do it? Why did he ignore the consequences? He'd have to own up to his choices. No justifications, no claims of dick tyranny. He did what he knew would hurt the women he loved, for selfish reasons. He entered his apartment, and the lights were out. He crept to his bedroom and shut the door behind himself. He heard his bedside lamp click on. Again? Megumi sat on his bed, heavily made up, hair in a sloppy ponytail, a painted Yakuza-style design on her arm, shoulder, and left breast. She looked like a dice hall woman. All she needed was a cigarette. "Welcome home, whore fucker," she said in a hoarse voice. Hiroi took off his glasses, set them on his desk, and hung his head in shame. "Yes, my love, I did it. I did it for selfish reasons. I'm sorry. I hurt you. I'm so sorry," he said. "Well, that's good. No excuses, denial, or justifications. Tell me why I should marry you now," Megumi said. Megumi said. Hiroi began to cry. "I love you so much. I need you. I'm a jerk, and I'm hard to love, and I'm selfish, and I can think of lots of reasons not to marry me," Hiroi replied, sniffing. "Well, I'm what you want." Megumi said, "I'm a painted criminal whore. Tell me why I should marry you. You make me better. You don't just make me wish I was better. I don't deserve you." She growled in frustration. "You keep saying why you should marry me. Why should I marry you?" He wiped his eyes and looked her in the eyes hopefully. "You should marry me because you accept me for being the messed up person I am? Because you love me anyway?" he asked. Her broad face beamed in a smile. "Aces, asshole," she said, and then she threw him a blood tester. "Whorefuckers check their blood before they're allowed to kiss me." Hiroi activated the auto lancet. They waited as the tester analyzed his blood. "You look so hot in that getup," Hiroi said. "Good. The makeup alone took forever," Megumi said. "Well, I mean, thank you, my love," she amended. "No viruses or pathogens detected," the tester said in a robotic yet feminine voice. Megumi stood up and held out her arms. Hiroi gratefully walked to embrace her. "Thank you for loving me," he whispered. They kissed, and he pulled her hair loose. Fade out. Later, Megumi snuggled atop Hiroi's chest. "Let's get our own apartment. Just you and me. And a guest room," she suggested. "Will that be okay while you're at college?" he asked. "Of course it will. And we'll be together, so none of those crazy masks will be able to sneak into your bed." He inhaled deeply of her perfume. "I have gotten sick of finding people in my bed without an invitation," he agreed. "I like you all natural, but I like you prettied up, too." "Thank you. I won't want to do it all the time, but I like knowing that my efforts are appreciated." "Is Chi-chan angry, too?" "She's furious. I don't know what will appease her." They went to sleep in each other's arms. "You'll need a bigger bed, Hiroi," Megumi said in her dream, unaware that she was already asleep. Chiharu had had angry sex with Shinichi for the first time in her life. They all knew Hiroi was going to have sex with Sadako. They knew he'd feel bad about it too, but he'd still do it. How could she forgive that? Knowingly doing that betrayal of their love and all the pain it took to make their lives together. What if he caught some disease? Shin lay panting for breath beside her on his bed. She nibbled on his arm, trying to release her anger harmlessly. "Hiroi is hard to love," she said finally. "I know, sweetheart," Shin replied. How could he do this? We all have our weaknesses. Hiroi can't say no to pussy. He just can't. But if we try to keep him away from sluts, he'll get mad and say dick tyranny. Well, you're engaged now, so you can say you're allowed. You can't refuse that.